Did you know that 99% of deaths after 75 come down to just a handful of causes? Many people assume that passing away at an advanced age is simply natural. But the truth is, most fatalities stem from avoidable risks, risks that are often ignored until it's too late. The problem is, by the time most people realize what's happening, their health has already deteriorated and their options become limited. But if you understand these dangers now, you can take steps to protect yourself and extend your life in ways you never thought possible. In this video, we're going to uncover the 5 leading causes of death after 75, the ones responsible for nearly all fatalities in this age group. Some of these might seem obvious, while others may surprise you, but one thing is certain. Knowing them is the first step toward preventing them. These aren't just statistics. They represent real lives, real families, and real choices that could mean the difference between struggling with health problems or living a long, fulfilling life. Stay tuned until the end, because these 5 causes are not inevitable. In fact, by making small but meaningful changes, many people have significantly reduced their risks, stayed independent longer, and added years, sometimes decades, to their lives. The decisions you make today could determine how strong, active, and independent you remain in the years ahead. Now let's get started. Number 1, heart disease. Heart disease remains the leading cause of death for people over 75, and yet many don't realize how much control they actually have over it. The heart is a muscle, and like any muscle, it either stays strong with the right care or weakens from years of neglect. The problem is you don't always feel the warning signs until the damage is already done. Many people assume that slowing down, feeling tired, or getting out of breath easily is just part of aging. But in reality, these can be signs that your heart isn't as strong as it used to be, and that's something worth paying attention to. One of the biggest contributors to heart disease is high blood pressure. Over time, it puts an enormous strain on your arteries, forcing your heart to work harder than it should. The tricky part? You don't feel it. There's no pain, no obvious symptoms, nothing telling you to take action until a heart attack or stroke forces the issue. That's why so many people over 75 suddenly find themselves in the hospital, wondering how they got there when they felt fine just days before. Another major culprit is poor diet. Decades of processed foods, excess salt, and unhealthy fats slowly take a toll, clogging arteries and reducing circulation. And here's something most people don't realize. This isn't just about avoiding bad foods. It's also about eating the right ones. Your heart needs fuel to stay strong, and if your meals are lacking in heart-healthy nutrients, the damage happens much faster than you think. And then there's a lack of movement. The heart isn't meant to sit still all day. When you stop moving, your circulation slows down, your muscles weaken, and your heart doesn't get the exercise it needs to stay strong. You don't have to run marathons, but staying active in whatever way works for you, whether it's walking, stretching, or even simple chair exercises, keeps your heart pumping efficiently and reduces your risk of heart disease dramatically. The biggest mistake people make is assuming that heart disease is just fate. They hear about relatives who had heart attacks, or they assume it's just what happens with age. But the truth is, small, consistent choices add up. The food you eat, the way you move, the stress you manage, it all plays a role in whether your heart stays strong or begins to fail. If you take one thing away from this, let it be this: you have more power over your heart health than you think. The choices you make today can determine how strong your heart stays for the years ahead, and the best time to start protecting it is right now. Number 2, falls and injuries. One of the most dangerous and overlooked risks after 75 isn't a disease, it's a fall. It happens in an instant. One misstep, one moment of dizziness, one slippery floor, and suddenly everything changes. A fractured hip, a head injury, or even a seemingly minor bruise can quickly spiral into a serious, life-threatening event. And the real danger? Most people don't realize how vulnerable they are until it's too late. Here's something shocking. Falls are one of the top causes of injury-related deaths in seniors. They account for millions of emergency room visits every year, and for many, a single fall leads to a decline that they never fully recover from. A hip fracture can mean months in bed, loss of independence, and increased risk of infections and complications. But despite how common this is, Most people don't take fall prevention seriously until they or someone they love experiences one firsthand. The problem is, as we age, our sense of balance, muscle strength, and reaction time gradually decrease. But because this happens so slowly, we don't always notice. You might feel fine walking around your home, doing your daily routines, but then one day you reach for something, lose your balance, and gravity takes over. The body simply doesn't recover as easily as it once did, and what used to be a minor stumble can now result in devastating injuries. And here's something that makes it even worse. Fear of falling leads to even more falls. Many seniors, after experiencing one close call, start avoiding movement altogether. They stop going for walks, they avoid stairs, they limit their activity out of fear. But the less you move, the weaker your muscles become, and the weaker your muscles become, the more likely you are to fall. It's a vicious cycle, and it can quickly rob you of your independence. But here's the good news. Falls are not inevitable. In fact, there are simple but powerful ways to reduce your risk dramatically. Strengthening your legs and core, improving balance, and making small adjustments in your home, like better lighting, slip-proof rugs, and sturdy handrails, can mean the difference between staying active and independent or facing a life-changing injury. Another overlooked factor, medication side effects. Many prescriptions cause dizziness, drowsiness, or changes in blood pressure that make falls more likely. If you've ever stood up too quickly and felt lightheaded, that's your body warning you that something needs to be adjusted. Talking to your doctor about your medications, making sure they're not working against you, and being mindful of how they affect your balance can save your life. Falling isn't just about tripping over something. It's about staying strong, staying steady, and staying aware of the little things that can make a big difference, because after 70, a single fall can change everything. And taking the right precautions today could mean years of continued mobility, independence, and a much higher quality of life. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 3, respiratory diseases. Breathing is something we take for granted until it becomes difficult. As we age, our lungs don't work as efficiently as they once did, and even minor respiratory issues can turn serious quickly. What starts as a simple cough or shortness of breath can lead to chronic conditions, infections, and even hospitalization. And after 75, respiratory diseases become one of the leading causes of death, not because they're unavoidable, but because they're often ignored until it's too late. One of the biggest dangers is chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, or COPD, which includes emphysema and chronic bronchitis. Over time, the airways become inflamed, making it harder and harder to breathe. Many seniors brush off symptoms like frequent coughing, wheezing, or feeling out of breath, assuming it's just a normal part of aging. But in reality, these are warning signs that your lungs need help. And then there's pneumonia. It might seem like just another infection, but for older adults, pneumonia is far more dangerous. What starts as a cold or mild chest congestion can quickly turn into a life-threatening condition because the body's ability to fight off infections weakens with age. Many hospitalizations after 75 are caused by pneumonia, and in too many cases, the infection leads to a rapid decline in health that some never fully recover from. Another major risk is poor air quality. Over the years, exposure to dust, pollution, and secondhand smoke takes a toll on the lungs. Even inside the home, things like mold, pet dander, and indoor pollutants can worsen breathing problems without you even realizing it. And if you already have conditions like asthma or COPD, these irritants make symptoms even worse. Making small adjustments, such as improving indoor air quality using air purifiers or avoiding smoke exposure, can significantly protect your lungs. One of the simplest but most effective ways to keep your lungs strong is to stay active. Many people don't realize that the lungs, like any other part of the body, need exercise to function properly. When you move, your lungs expand fully, keeping them healthy and clearing out mucus buildup. But when you sit for long periods, your lungs aren't working as hard, making you more vulnerable to infections and weakened lung function over time. Even light activities, such as walking or stretching, can keep your lungs stronger for longer. Another crucial factor is getting the right vaccinations. Many seniors underestimate the importance of vaccines for pneumonia, flu, and other respiratory illnesses, but these simple precautions can dramatically reduce the risk of severe infections. It's not just about avoiding a bad cold. It's about preventing complications that could land you in the hospital or worse. A small step like staying up to date on vaccines can mean the difference between a mild illness and a serious health crisis. Breathing should never feel like a struggle, but for many people over 75 it does. Not because it has to, but because they don't take action early enough. Your lungs are with you every second of your life, working to keep you alive. Taking care of them, strengthening them, and protecting them from infection is one of the most powerful things you can do to extend both your health and independence. Number 4, stroke. A stroke happens suddenly without warning, and in an instant, life can change forever. It's one of the leading causes of death after 75, yet many people don't realize how many early warning signs and risk factors are within their control. The problem is a stroke doesn't always give you a second chance. Once it happens, the damage is often permanent. But here's what most people don't know. Up to 80% of strokes can be prevented. That means the choices you make today could determine whether you stay independent or suffer from a life-altering event. A stroke occurs when blood flow to the brain is suddenly blocked or a blood vessel bursts. When this happens, brain cells begin to die within minutes. The longer the brain is deprived of oxygen, the greater the damage. Some strokes are small, causing only temporary confusion or slight weakness, but others leave people paralyzed, unable to speak, or completely dependent on others. And in far too many cases, a stroke is fatal. One of the biggest risk factors is high blood pressure. Over time, too much pressure on the arteries weakens them, making them more likely to rupture or become blocked. And just like with heart disease, high blood pressure often has no symptoms. That's why so many people walk around completely unaware that they are at risk until a stroke suddenly occurs. Another major cause is irregular heart rhythms like atrial fibrillation, or AFib. Many seniors experience this without realizing it, and when the heart beats irregularly, blood can pool and form clots. If one of those clots travels to the brain, it can cause a stroke in an instant. The good news? A simple medical checkup can detect these issues early, and treatment can lower your risk dramatically. And then there's diet and lifestyle. Eating too many processed foods, excess salt, and unhealthy fats increases the likelihood of strokes, while a lack of movement allows blood to thicken and circulation to slow. The best way to reduce your risk is by staying active, eating nutrient-rich foods, and maintaining healthy blood pressure. Small changes like adding leafy greens, cutting back on sodium, and drinking more water can make a huge difference. One thing that often gets overlooked is mini strokes, or TIAs, transient ischemic attacks. These are temporary blockages of blood flow to the brain that can cause symptoms like sudden weakness, slurred speech, temporary loss of vision, or confusion. Even if it goes away, do not ignore it. Seeking medical attention immediately could mean the difference between preventing a stroke and suffering its devastating consequences. The most important thing to remember is you have the power to reduce your stroke risk. Checking your blood pressure regularly, maintaining a heart-healthy diet, staying active, and recognizing the early warning signs can help you stay independent and avoid the life-altering effects of a stroke. The earlier you take action, the greater your chances of protecting yourself. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you are here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 5, cognitive decline and related complications. One of the most heartbreaking realities of aging is the slow loss of memory, reasoning, and independence. Cognitive decline doesn't happen overnight. It creeps in slowly, making small changes that are easy to dismiss at first. But as the years pass, those small lapses turn into something more serious. The ability to manage daily tasks, recognize familiar faces, or make sound decisions begins to fade, and for many, it's not just an inconvenience. It becomes life-threatening. Dementia and Alzheimer's disease don't just affect the mind, they put the entire body at risk. As cognitive function declines, so does the ability to take care of one's own health. Simple things like remembering to take medications, eating balanced meals, or recognizing symptoms of an illness become increasingly difficult. Many seniors with dementia forget to drink enough water, leading to dangerous dehydration. Others may eat too little or too much, causing nutritional deficiencies or weight gain that increases their risk of other serious conditions. But one of the biggest dangers is accidents. Forgetting to turn off the stove, leaving the door unlocked at night, or wandering outside in unsafe conditions. These are all risks that become deadly as cognitive decline progresses, and for many seniors, this leads to a tragic reality: losing their independence. They may no longer be able to live alone safely, and without proper care, their health declines even faster. The scariest part? Many people don't realize they're experiencing cognitive decline until it is already advanced. Early signs such as forgetting names, struggling to follow conversations, or misplacing important items are often brushed off as just getting older. But in reality, these small warning signs are your brain's way of telling you that something is changing. The sooner you take action, the better your chances of slowing the progression and maintaining a sharp, healthy mind for years to come. One of the best ways to protect your brain is staying mentally active. Just like the muscles in your body, the brain needs exercise to stay strong. Reading, learning new skills, doing puzzles, or even having deep conversations keeps your brain engaged and reduces the risk of cognitive decline. And here's something many people overlook. Physical exercise is just as important for brain health as mental activity. Movement increases blood flow to the brain, which helps protect memory and cognitive function. Another key factor is social interaction. Isolation and loneliness speed up mental decline dramatically. Having regular conversations, meeting with friends, and staying engaged with the community can literally help keep your brain sharper longer. The more you challenge your mind with new experiences and meaningful interactions, the more resilient it becomes. And of course, diet plays a major role. What you eat directly affects brain health. Omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, and vitamins found in foods like leafy greens, berries, and nuts help protect against cognitive decline. On the other hand, too much processed food, sugar, and unhealthy fats contribute to inflammation in the brain, increasing the risk of dementia. A healthy brain starts with a healthy body, and the choices you make today can shape how well you think and function in the years ahead. Losing cognitive function isn't an inevitable part of aging. By taking the right steps now, keeping your mind and body active, staying socially engaged, and making smart dietary choices, you can significantly reduce your risk. Your brain is just like any other part of your body. The more you take care of it, the stronger it stays. Final thoughts. As we wrap up this video, take a moment to think about everything we've covered: heart disease, falls, respiratory issues, stroke, and cognitive decline. These 5 causes are responsible for nearly all deaths after 75. But here's what's important to remember. They are not inevitable. Most people don't realize how much control they actually have over their own health, and by the time they do, it's often too late. The truth is, small, consistent choices starting today can add years of strength, clarity, and independence to your life. No one wants to think about aging, but ignoring these risks doesn't make them go away. The good news is that awareness gives you power. Knowing the signs, taking preventive steps, and making your health a priority means that you don't have to live in fear of what's ahead. Instead of focusing on limitations, you can focus on longevity, strength, and enjoying life to the fullest. Now think about your own daily habits. Are there areas where you could make small improvements? Maybe it's eating healthier, moving more, getting regular checkups, or staying socially and mentally active. Whatever it is, remember this: you don't have to change everything at once. Even one small step in the right direction can set you on a path toward better health and a longer, fuller life. At this stage in life, your well-being is your greatest asset. The more you protect it, the more you can enjoy time with loved ones, maintain your independence, and live without fear of preventable health issues. Every day is an opportunity to take care of yourself, and the choices you make today can determine how strong and capable you remain in the years ahead. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.